So while they are installing the microphone, which we are very grateful, thank you very much. So then we just sit quietly for a short while, and you check. You know, the title was like explaining about Vajrasattva practice. Do I think I have something to purify? Or am I just here out of interest, which is fine, it's absolutely okay. But what is it that I think I want to live without? And especially, what are my expectations? Because they're usually very high. So this is not going to be a miracle cure, I have to say. If you think it is, then, you'll be very disappointed. And definitely not joyful. It's hard work. So it's good to be prepared for, to see also, am I open to listen to maybe, because some of you, I don't know your faces. Some of you I know, of course. To really see, what am I expecting? Okay? And then if your expectations are very high and you're disappointed in the evening, it's not my fault, it's yours. Okay? As you can see, you might need some humor for this whole thing, because otherwise it's getting too heavy. Because during purification, what we do, we look at the garbage of our own mind. And so that's easy, because we have plenty, right? So to see the garbage in our mind is very easy. But to do that with kindness, and not pushing, and not putting yourself down, this is the difficult thing. So before we start, like, again, I want to get rid of this, and this, and this, and this, but first maybe try to go into a little bit more, kind of positive psychology, and try to see all the good things that we have. Not outside, inside. Okay, all the things you can do, all the things you did right. Because otherwise, with our huge ego that we have in the West, it's, again, I'm talking to a group, okay? You yourself, personally, you might not have a big ego. So don't get upset because I said the big ego that we have. If you don't have one, be happy. If you're getting upset by thinking, but I don't have a big ego, you have one. Okay, so this is a good, this will be a good measure to see whether you have one. Whereas when you say, like, oh, I'm so happy that my ego is not so big, and generate compassion for the others who have a big ego, not to compare, but just to think, oh, I'm so happy that my ego, who is constantly standing in the way for being the person I want to be, is not so big, and you have compassion for the others instead of going, ooh, look at those, then you don't have a big ego, but you have a good heart, and a big heart. Okay, so we're going against seeing what's a good big heart, which is also mind, what's big ego, and a bit like this. So we sit for 10 minutes so these nice people can just install it. I won't say anything anymore, so even you can't hear me, it's okay. Don't have to worry about this. And just to rejoice to be here. If it's not working, then you think you can rejoice that you only have to be here one day. And even that, you don't have to be here one whole day. If you want to leave, the door is open. You can leave anytime. So try to feel that freedom. That this day, today is for me. I can do with it whatever I want. Nobody is forcing me to do anything. Okay? Okay. So try to go inside a bit to see what's going on. Yeah, if it whistles, that's what microphones do. Okay, so don't worry. Perfect. Okay, so we have to try. What we usually do,
Oh, yeah, it's okay.
we hang something heavy on the other
No,
side.
no, it's a mistake. Okay?
Hmm? There. Okay. Okay, so just to get perfect.
Okay.
Switch off again. you can stay in meditation or reflection. And I want to start with this. Like the Buddha's teachings are all about the nature of our mind or consciousness, meaning that which perceives, is pure. Like a mirror who is totally clear. It is spacious, it is luminous, and it has natural intelligence because it's seeking happiness. And when we are in contact with this luminosity and with this spaciousness, we know what will bring happiness and what will bring suffering. So try to connect with this. Not so much the content of your mind, not so much the thoughts. Not so much objectively, but more subjectively. Try to make a step, kind of a step back and look, or try to be in contact with that thing that is looking at the content of the mind. I know it's not easy, so some people are used to do this kind of, it's called Mahamudra, because that's what we want to discover by doing purification. So try not to kind of be in contact with what you hear, but more with, kind of wondering, hey, what is hearing? Of course we go the ear. But is it the ear that is recognizing the voice of Losang? Or is it something else? What is this quality of being able to not just hear, but to recognize? If you go into touch, objectively it would be soft, hard, hot, cold, cool. Try not to stay there, go beyond. What is recognizing soft, hard, rough, smooth? If you open your eyes and you just look at forms, don't put labels on them or don't go into thoughts. Just recognize shape and color. But what is that thing that is putting names on it, that recognizes, that can engage with the object, with the form? Or with the shape, rather, in English, and with the color. Maybe you detect some smells. What recognizes the smell as, for example, being pleasant or unpleasant? And now we have all these thoughts. So don't get caught up with them. Rather, who or what picks up thoughts, recognizes them. Try to be in touch or to feel the spaciousness of that one who recognizes. And the clarity. And in this luminous spaciousness, there is natural goodness, kindness, so we can start by thinking the purpose of this day, or the purpose of this knowing about purification practices and then finally doing them, is not just so I have a happier life or have less problems, or that people like me better, or I get more famous or whatever. It's really to kind of eliminate the layers and layers and layers of wrong concepts, wrong views that we have that cover up the spaciousness, the luminosity, and the goodness. So we don't have to build up something, we have to get rid of things. Because the goodness, the happiness, the well-being is already there. It's just covered. And then so that it becomes what is called Mahayana Buddhist practice. And of course, first is always, I don't want to suffer, I don't want to have any problems, I want to have a good life. That's okay. But then the next step is, so I can put it in the service of others. So foremost and first of all, I'm not harming anybody voluntarily. And not only that, that if possible, that I can be of some benefit. Not just to the beings I like or love, but to all beings. If you never heard that thought, which is called bodhicitta, or one part of bodhicitta, if you never heard that thought, I want to be of benefit to all sentient beings, then try just to taste it. And see, your natural reaction to this. Is there a but this one no, that one no, this one are nasty guys. That's why we're having problems. Maybe, try to be open and go like, why not? Why not all sentient beings? To be of benefit to them. And then the next thought is we start to see our limitations, but how can I be of benefit to all sentient beings? Because I judge. I like those, I dislike those, and most of the people I'm not interested in. And it's the second part of bodhicitta, wanting to attain enlightenment. I have to become a fully realized being. I have to discover and to be able to live that spaciousness, the clarity, the luminosity, and the goodness, the natural goodness of my mind. If I really want to be of benefit to all sentient beings. So then we have the two aspects of bodhicitta. Finding joy in being of benefit, not being afraid of burning out and being taken advantage of, and people think you're stupid or a friar or whatever. Finding joy in having the capacity to be of benefit to whomever is there in front of you. That's one part of it. the other part would be, but for that I have to develop further. In order to be able to do that, I have to become a fully awakened being. Whatever that means to you. Stop the meditation, relax, try to be comfortable. Also, that's something I didn't mention. When we started, it's always good to look at the body and to be comfortable and to relax, especially the face, where we hold quite a bit of tension. Okay, so how does that work? The confidence in our own goodness. That whenever, the whole world around you is falling down and you're depressed and you have no more energy to go on and go like this, where is the thought? But, this is just impermanent. It was different before, it will be different again. This goes also for the good things, by the way, unfortunately. That what the Buddha says, that life is difficult. Where is that thought when things are not going well? And especially where is the thought about emptiness, that all this is just a projection of my mind. And the very important thought beneath all this shit. I'm not even going to say sorry for the word because I use it quite a lot. Because beneath that shit that we have this confidence saying, but that's not me, because there's no me, there's no real I. Where is it when things are not going the way you want them to go? Question to you. Do we have access to that, at least intellectual understanding? But hey, the joy in wanting to be of benefit to others, even if it's hard work. This is another thing. When we hear the word joy, what do we bring in contact with that? Effortless. Easy. Then I can be joyful. It's not like this. How many of you do very serious sport? Okay, not going to work that. Okay. Otherwise not working, that example. Or, serious painting, serious dancing, serious playing music. Thank you, Shuki. Serious whatever. Is that effortless? Is it joyful? Very much so. Because we understand at one point it will be effortless. But if we don't go to the joyous effort to train and to repeat and to fail, by the way, also, we will never get to the effortless thing. And the mind of a Buddha, so it's not just, when we hear the Buddha, so if you don't really understand what the Buddha is, maybe let me know, and then I can tell you what the Buddha is. If nobody says anything, then I think that everybody knows what the Buddha is. Yeah, everybody's nodding, okay. Shall I try it out and ask you? No, I won't do that, this would be too cruel. But I think the best explanation about what the Buddha is, I heard from Songsa Khyentse Rinpoche when he said, a Buddha is a person, doesn't matter the form, this one has a little bit funny form, this one that was on the screen, but we don't need it for the moment, we don't need it this morning, has an even more strange form. Then you see other enlightened beings, they have like 9 heads, and because, Yamataka, 34 arms, 16 legs, holding something different in every leg. Others only have 1 head, others have like 11 heads, like Avalokiteshvara is like, what on earth is this? It's just manifestations of a fully awakened mind. So a fully awakened mind is the only mind that is normal. Normal not in terms of norm like many. Normal in terms of natural. Because a fully awakened being, a Buddha, is of benefit to others, effortless, spontaneous, and continuously without burning out, because there's a lot of joy, because this is what one develops on the way of the Bodhisattva. Okay, we have to train that mind. It does not come in, oh, enlightenment, now there's joy. It's not going to be like this. Now we are training the mind to joyfully be of benefit to others as much as possible, and at the beginning just mentally, to break down that kind of barrier that we have. But it has to be effortless. People have to say thank you. They have to be grateful for me. They have to recognize what a good person I am. We have to train to let go of all this. We have to learn it, because that's not how we are. And this whole thing about wanting recognition and being somebody special and having success and all this, that's not natural. That's also trained by society. You're only somebody if you're successful, if you know how to do things and this. So if you fail all the time, maybe do smaller projects instead of kind of running into the wall with your head all the time. You know, do things you can do, and then from there progress. Don't make this your goal. Oh, I only do things that I like to do. When you do things you like to do and you know doing, then there is some success, because at the moment we need it. Yeah. But we do this with the motivation of progressing from there. Because to try again and again and again without any success, this is where the burnouts come from. And because there's no joy, because when there's no joy and a lot of expectations, then you're blocked. Your energies don't flow. Is that kind of clear? So a Buddha, fully awakened mind, is a mind that has absolutely zero wish for anybody to suffer. You know, we have this kind of half-holy wish for bad people to suffer so that they learn from their suffering. I tell you, it's only a half-holy wish. It's not, absolutely not a holy wish. It's the wrong wish. When people suffer, they become nasty or they withdraw. These are usually the two reactions to suffering when one doesn't see, hey, this is my own responsibility. When one feels the victim, you either become nasty or you withdraw into depression. Neither of these two things is helpful in the world. Yeah. So we don't learn naturally from suffering and become better people. We can. We can learn from it if we take responsibility for our own suffering. If we don't, we just either don't want to see these people anymore, or even we harm them, and if we can't harm them ourselves because we're too holy, because we don't dare. This is the Swiss attitude, okay? We wait and hope somebody else will come along and harm them. Either nature or another person or whatever. Not harming in a big way, you know, not telling about killing them. If they get killed, we wouldn't say like, oh, good for them. No, not like this. But just small ways, yeah? So as a fully awakened being, you have absolutely no wish for beings to suffer or to be harmed.